So I am out. I will be back on Thursday. But I wanted to make sure we still got our lessons. I did assign you all of the lessons that go with this on Zearn. They are bookmarked lessons. Please make sure you complete all of the bookmark lessons before I come back on Thursday. So it's between today and tomorrow, you should be able to complete them. These videos are just to help you between today and tomorrow understand the 2 exit tickets that you will be assigned. So today's exit ticket is going to be 4.5.1 exit ticket, and I just wanted to make sure that I explained the Pythagorean theorem so that you had some understanding of it. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want to start with is a key understanding. This key understanding states the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem states, if the lengths of the legs of a right triangle are A and B, and the length of the hypotenuse C is C, then A squared plus B squared equals C squared. When we look at the Pythagorean theorem, we're going to focus specifically on this right here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And it only works for a right triangle. Let's watch a quick video. So that video gave us a quick understanding of how A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So they measured one side with the Post-its, they measured another side with the Post-its, and they put those together to show that those 2 sides together the exact same as the other side with the Post-its. So I want to show you the A and B. One thing to know is that A and B are interchangeable. We call these the legs. This could be B or it could be A. This could be A or it can be B. It doesn't matter. Your legs are always your legs. The one thing that matters, however, and let me change the color, is your hypotenuse. This is your hypotenuse. Your hypotenuse is always directly across from the right angle. That is super important to know. Your hypotenuse is always. Great, let's jump into some examples. Here's our first example. I'm encouraging you to copy this down into your notes. Once you've copied this into your notes, I want you to follow along with me. I am going to go through each of these in the exact same way that I believe you should. First thing I need to do is read. Determine the length of the hypotenuse, that's C, of the right triangle. That means that I have an A and a B. I'm going to label this the same way that I see the letters across from it. So there's an A here, so I'm going to label that one A. There's a B on this side, so I'm just labeling everything across in this case. I usually would probably label this one A, but I want to do something a bit different, so label each one a bit differently. We're going to first write out the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Next, I'm going to substitute in the numbers that are missing. So for A, we have 8, so 8 squared. B is 6, 6 squared. And we don't know our hypotenuse, so it's still C squared. Next, I'm going to simplify and show my work. 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. And we're still looking for C squared. Yes, I would like to see all of your steps. 64 plus 36 is 100. And then we need to find C. In order to undo something raised to the second power, we need to take the square root of it. So we're taking the square root not of just one side, but of both sides. And when we take the square root of 100, we get 10. And when we take the square root of C squared, we just get C. And because Miss TB takes off petty points, we box our answers so that we can clearly see what we need. So our C in this case, which is our hypotenuse, is 10. There are no units, so I don't need to write any. For today, our CFS is as follows. First, you need to identify the parts of the triangle. Second, you need to write the Pythagorean theorem. And third, you need to substitute and solve. Every single question should look like that. Identify the parts, write the Pythagorean theorem, then substitute and solve. Let's look at another example. Pause the video and put this one in your notes. I'm now going to label these. This one is A, this one is A, and this one is B. And this one is B. My C is my hypotenuse. I know that because it's directly across from the right angle. Same with my first one. I knew that this was my hypotenuse because it's directly across from my right angle. All right, let's do it. Step 1, identify the parts. Done. Step 2, write the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. Done. Step 3, or our CFS 3, is substitute and solve. A was 3. B is 7. Some makes it easier at some point. And C is still C. We don't know C yet. Oh boy. Okay, now I'm going to solve. 3 to the second power is 9. 7 to the second power is 49. I think I just have to write a bit bigger. And C squared is still C squared. 49 plus 9 is 58. And then, just like before, in order to undo or the reciprocal of a something raised to the second power is to take the square root of it. Now, I'm going to tell you right this second, there is no nice square root of 58. That is not a perfect square. We could estimate it. 49 is a perfect square. That's 7 squared. 64 is a perfect square. That's 8 squared. It's somewhere in between 7 and 8. But, again, we don't know. So I'm going to put the square root of 58 into my calculator. The way that you do that is by clicking the following buttons. Click second, and then click the x squared button. The inverse is right on top of it. Second and x squared will get you the square root symbol if you did not know that. When I take the square root, I get that C is actually equal to the square root of 58 specifically. We'll learn how to break this down eventually, but for now, we're just going to estimate it. When I estimate it, I get that it is about 7 and 616 thousandths if I went to the thousandths. If I ask you to go to the hundredths, it would be 7 and 62 hundredths. If I asked you to go to the tenths place, it would just be 7 and 6 tenths. Knowing how to round is going to be important. A lot of the times, the questions will ask you to round to the tenths or the hundredths place. If you struggle with rounding, please make sure that you let me know when I return. Okay, last example before I set you loose. This one has no picture. However, we know that for today, we are only finding the hypotenuse. That's the only thing we're focused on today is finding the hypotenuse. Tomorrow we'll work on some legs and a mixture. But this one needs a picture. So adding to your CFS, I'm asking you to identify the parts of a triangle, sometimes that means you have to actually draw said triangle. Let's see if I have a shape tool. So we know for a fact, the first thing we're going to be looking at is a right triangle. Perfect. So I have this right triangle right here. And it's asking about a ladder. So I like to draw a full picture. I like to make sure I absolutely understand everything going on. So it says the foot of a ladder is placed 6 feet from a wall. First of all, I need to draw a wall. Here is my wall. It's going to be a brick wall. Please, it is okay that my drawing is crazy looking. It's on the computer and not my iPad. There's my wall. Then I have a ladder. This is my ladder right here. Bam. It's got rungs on the ladder. I do give extra points for beautiful drawings. Now I'm going to label it. I'm going to zoom in a smidge for myself. Oopsies. So right here, we know that it's placed 6 feet away from the wall. That's down here. 6 feet. And we also know that the top of the ladder rests 8 feet up the wall. So that means that this right here is going to be 8 feet. It's asking how long is the ladder? Well, I know this makes a right angle, and this is directly across, so this is my C, which is my hypotenuse. It looks just like the triangles from before. Again, you don't have to draw the pictures, but I needed a visual to help me. I'm going to still follow the same steps. 1, identify parts of the triangle. Done. 2, write the Pythagorean theorem. 3, substitute and solve. It doesn't matter which is my A and which is my B, but I'm going to label this side over here as A and this one down here as B. So my A is 8, my B is 6, and it equals my C. Remember to pause, go back, rewind, whatever you have to do to make sure that you get all the notes. 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. I'm going to add those. 64 plus 36 is 100. This looks very similar to the first one. And then we're going to follow the same pattern. We are going to undo the squared for C by taking the square root. And we get that C equals 10. But this has a label, so 10 feet. We're going to box our answer for 10. However, it's a word problem, which means my answer needs to be in words. So my sentence, my focus statement would be the ladder is 10 feet long. And that's it. I have a focus statement. I have my work shown. This, a picture drawn. This is beautiful work. Please make sure that you have this in your notes for all of the examples. I will be attaching the worksheet for this lesson to the exit ticket so that you can go back and practice. So for example, there is an entire page here of ones that you can practice. There's a couple on here that you can practice. And there's a couple in the problem set that you can practice as well if you're not ready for your exit ticket yet. So this will be attached to, and I'm going to save these on here too. So this will be attached to the exit ticket if you still need it.